Hello viewers, this is Vasista Gayatri Academy. I am Dr. Venugopal, Professor of Law and Professor of English Literature too. In this video, I would like to have a profound reflection on a controversial adultery law, the metamorphosis of adultery law. First, let me have a clear-cut idea about adultery law. Adultery means a man having relationship with a married woman. Here, man may be married or unmarried, but woman should be a married woman. If there is such type of illegal contact or illicit contact between these two persons, it is called adultery. And only when there is no consent of the husband of that married woman, it is termed as adultery. If there is a consent on the part of the husband of the woman, married woman, it is not adultery. That is the special point to be noted here. This was a criminal offense, and the punishment was also there for this offense, for this crime. This was adultery law as per section 497 of Indian Penal Code. But later on, a number of cases were filed against this section 497, because here the most striking point is that only man will be punished and woman is not punished. Woman will be spared. Why? Woman is to be spared and man must be punished. In this connection, number of cases, petitions were filed in the different courts of India. But with the advent of Abraham Shani's case in 2017, the Supreme Court of India took a different stand altogether. It pronounced a sensational judgment. The verdict is this: Section 497 is not at all a crime, because it is violative of Article 14, 15 and 21 of the Indian Constitution. 14 and 15 of the Indian Constitution say that equality and discrimination. There should not be any discrimination between man and woman. Why this discrimination? So, Article 14 and 15 is are violated here, and apart from that, Article 21 of the Indian Constitution is also violated. Article 21 says that liberty and individuality and peaceful life of a person. So when it is violated, it is against law. So on these grounds, this is a ratio decidendi of the verdict. On the basis of these two aspects, Supreme Court has gone to the extent of striking down the very section 497 of the Indian Penal Code. I shall give my profound reflection on this in due course of time. Before giving that, let us also have an idea about or some reflection on the obiter dicta of the verdict. You know very well about the obiter dicta. Obiter dicta means the opinion, reflections, ideas, opinions, discussion of these judges while writing the verdict. There are different reflections, their own personal feelings, opinions, suggestions also, suggestive notes. These are called obiter dicta. The obiter dicta in this verdict is, these are the things. Now, the first one is, the law is archaic. The section 497, adultery, the crime, is very archaic. It is a colonial law. That means 150 years back law. So it has no relevance today. The second one is, woman need not be a slave, chattel. She is not a chattel to, and my man is not a master. That is another thing. And the third one is woman sexual autonomy. That means woman sexual autonomy must be given to women, and it must be protected at the same time. These are the most striking points in the verdict, obiter dicta, in that verdict. Now I shall give my profound reflection on these issues related to the verdict. The first, one by one I shall discuss now. The very first one is regarding that ratio decidendi of the verdict. The first one is Article 14 and 15, that means equality and discrimination. So it is not the matter of equality or liberty or individuality of a man or woman. It is the issue of human affinity, issue of human relations. The need of the hour is human relations. Sweet human relations should be established nowadays. Because of the lack of these sweet human relations, number of conflicts, predicaments, different clashes, number of cases, petitions, grievances have been emerging. So sweet human affinity is the need of the hour. The beauty, real beauty of human life lies in that of human affinity. Shakespeare says in one of his plays, beautiful plays, about the beauty of Helen of Troy. He says, "Thy beauty is eternal. Age cannot wither her beauty." That means even for ages together, her beauty will sustain, continue. No age, nothing can wipe out, efface the beauty of Helen of Troy. Likewise here, the beauty of human life lies in the human affinity, sweet human relationship. So these must be the parameters for human relations and human predicaments, human problems. Liberty, equality, individuality are not the parameters, they are mechanical aspects related to law, legal field. This is my opinion. And the second thing is, coming to the obiter dicta. The first aspect is colonial law and archaic law, etc. They said, the judges who have written this, who have given this verdict. In my personal feeling, my profound reflection says that maybe it is archaic or colonial, whatever it is. Whether it is in 13th century or 14th century or 15th century, human affections, human values will be the same. They have the universal appeal. So here, human relations will have the universal appeal is my point. Whether it is in 13th century or 15th century or 20th century or 21st or 22nd century, any ages to come even, student will always respect the teacher, and teacher in turn gives love and affection. And what all he wants to impart without any selfishness, he will be imparting. In the same way, the children will show the affection, love and affection, gratefulness to the parents. They will respect the parents, they will respect the elders, and the parents and the elders will in turn give the blessings, terrific blessings, divine blessings. We have that belief, we have that tradition. From the time immemorial, it has been going on. So between friend and friend, the same affection will be there, the same values will be there, whether it is in 6th century, 20th century, 16th century, any century, all the times, everywhere, these human values will have the universal appeal. Age can't wither the beauty of the human relationship. So archaic law or colonial law is not the criterion here, what I believe strongly in this context. The third one is, next one is, she is not a slave, woman is not a slave, she is not a chattel, and man is not a master. So this is another point in that obiter dicta. This also, I am very much unhappy with this opinion also. Because if you think that you are superior, you are superior. If you think that you are inferior, you are inferior. All that depends upon your mind, as Shakespeare says. Good or bad, nothing of that sort. Everything depends upon your perception, your thinking. In the same way here, no superior, no inferior feelings. Nobody is superior between wife and husband. I am talking about between wife and husband. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. Both are equal. If there is only condition, if there is love and affection, true love and affection in the mind, in the soul of a husband or a woman, wife, there is no such type of barrier. Superior, inferior, slave, master, such barriers will not be there. And the next one is sexual autonomy must be given to the woman. Why sexual autonomy? It has been going on since time immemorial. Even in the past, even in our Puranas, Itihasas, our epic stories, we have been studying, observing the sexual autonomy of a woman. It is not a new concept, it is not a newly emerged idea or thought. Any anecdote from our Puranas will tell you that sexual autonomy has been already existing from time immemorial. Taking for instance, there is one a sloka in our epics. Ahalya Draupadi Tara Mandodari Tataha Panchakanya Smade Nityam Sakala Papa Vinashanaha. The meaning of this sloka is this. Ahalya has enjoyed sexual autonomy. When Indra came in disguise of Gautam, her husband, she was succulent, yielded to Indra. Oh my God, that Indra himself came down to me. She was drawn to her, drawn to that Indra, Devendra. And Draupadi enjoyed this sexual autonomy in a positive sense. Mandodari enjoyed this sexual autonomy in a negative sense. How, when Rama himself advised Mandodari after killing Ravana, he advised her, okay, live with, marry Vibhishana, a brother of Ravana, and live with him. She will accept, but she says she will accept on one condition, that I don't like to share my bed with him. I will marry, but I don't like to share my bed with Vibhishana. She enjoyed. Tara, wife of Brihaspati, she enjoyed sexual autonomy. I will tell you how. Another Tara enjoyed sexual autonomy with Sugriva and also Vali. I shall give one illustration taking from this 5 list. One Tara, wife of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is a teacher for all gods. Chandra, one god, was a residential student with Brihaspati. In due course of time, he developed amorous advances with Tara, wife of Brihaspati, fell in love, also enjoyed that sexual autonomy. Afterwards, finally they eloped also, and they have begotten one child also by name Buddha. War took place between Brihaspati and this Chandra, and finally Brihaspati was defeated. All 3 gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, came down to Chandra and advised him, instructed him, please spare Tara, wife of Brihaspati, your teacher. Please hand over. This is our culture, this is our tradition. We have to protect the chastity, the autonomy of the woman. He advised. So The point here, he handed over finally. The point here is that sexual autonomy has been a perennial issue since time immemorial, and it is that physical enjoyment itself is not the criterion or parameter for that. So here, that point in Oviedo dicta that sexual autonomy must be protected or must be given to women, I don't fall in with this. As far as love is concerned and amorous advances are concerned, it must be okay. You must have heard about Thomas Hardy and D.H. Lawrence. Thomas Hardy, one of the top 10 novelists of the world, says love is the strongest passion known to humanity. Between man and woman, between parent and child, between friend and friend, between wife and husband, between lovers. It is the strongest passion. We can't deny it, he says. D.H. Lawrence says, because along with, followed by love, there is sexual advances, attraction. In that context, he says, D.H. Lawrence says, sex is an undeniable fact of human life. It can't be denied. If you say that I don't like it, I'm not interested in sexual things and all these things. Suppose you dislike or you deny it, it is nothing but hypocrisy. So love and sex are the perennial things, and they have been a constant things, innate, rooted deep in the mind and blood and body of human being. We can't deny it. So as far as that autonomy is concerned, it is not the problem. It is not at all the criteria. So that should not be the base for this verdict. But anyway, we have to accept, we have to bow down before the verdict of the Supreme Court. But why all this much about nothing? All this much about nothing is just because of the layers that we take, layers of meaning. We dig into that, into the articles of 14, 15, 19 and 21. So the meaning of 14, Article 14, we have a number of meanings, number of connotations, interpretations. The meanings and the interpretations and the connotations of Article 19 or 21, number of interpretations are there. We are digging into that, going and very, very, very deep into that. That is the fault. So, too much education, too much thinking. Thinking is just like hell. All this is nothing but hell of thinking. If you go deeper and deeper and deeper into the layers of meaning or interpretations or connotations, it is nothing but a hell of thinking. That's what I believe. All philosophers will also accept this. There was a competition, essay writing competition for John Stott Rousseau, a French philosopher. The essay writing topic was this: by studying and studying further, continuously, for longer time, whether man's intelligence, wisdom will be increased or decreased. That is the topic for discussion, for writing, essay writing. All students, when Rousseau was a student, he was asked to write an essay for competition. All students wrote in favor of that by reading, studying and studying further, by constant, continuous, non-stop study, education, man's intelligence will be improved, no doubt. In that way, all people have written, whereas this John Stott Rousseau had written in a different way, that by studying and studying further, continuously, by that education, man's intelligence will be decreased, a reverse gap. He has proved with some examples, with some illustrations. Anyway, he got the prize also. Like that here, the point is, Over-education is very dangerous. You must have heard about Albert Einstein, a physicist, psychologist, philosopher, educationist, a great thinker above all. He says in one of the contexts that the too much education itself is a great hurdle, an obstacle to my learning, true learning. See here, he said, true learning. Education itself is a hurdle, an obstacle. Learning here means, all psychologists, philosophers say, learning means positive knowledge, practical wisdom, and values, with values. Then only it is called learning. Here he says true learning. For true learning, this over education is a great obstacle, a hurdle. I completely fall in with the dictum or the opinion of Albert Einstein. So, all I would like to say here is that because of too much education, the layers of different meanings, different connotations, different interpretations of these articles, and these will corrupt the mind. So we have to come out of it, because the issue like adultery, this adultery issue is to be sorted out not in the court of law, but in the court of life, where human affinity, human affections, human relations, sweet human relations will be the parameter, not the other things, not the legal issues, not the legal concepts like liberty, equality, fraternity, what is this, individuality, none of these things. This is what I would like to say, believing in my own profound reflection and philosophic reflection about this adultery law. Well, if you are really impressed with my discourse on this issue, dear friends, I request you to kindly subscribe my channel and share it with your friends too. Thank you very much for watching my program.